Hi guys, it's me Jones Fitness and Outdoor. So this is an intro to a day hike, you might call it, afternoon hike. If you don't like the intro, just skip it and go further. Well, we are leaving the city and as usual take some time to get out of here. It's gonna be like 30 minutes, and today I will walk, I will play with my dog, I will make some fire, I will eat, I will drink coffee, stuff like that. Do some talking by myself. Well, everyone who's watching is always also getting a taste of it, but no company today, and weather is about 7 degrees Celsius. Might be rain, might be no rain, but it's wet. Yeah, and I have a pair of new boots. I have the Salomon XA Forces 8-inch GTX. Gonna try them. I just used them for a short walk in the city so far. Well, today I'm gonna use them in the woods and gonna see how they feel, and I'm gonna see about the waterproofness. See if it is what it's supposed to be. Once I saw a guy, he submerged his XA Forces mid for a minute and he was still dry. I don't know, maybe I can try that when I finish, when I get back to my car. I don't want to try it out in the middle of nowhere. But okay, I'm gonna drive, listen to something, get in the mood, and let's see you in a bit. So now we're here, just taking a short breather, and so you can see what it looks like. And if you happen to hear something in the background, it's possibly other dogs. So we'll see you soon again. Hi guys, I found a good place to take care of something. I am warm, starting to sweat. And as you can see, I have more than one layer, and I have 2 jackets, but I want to keep one of these layers as dry as I can. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the flannel shirt and maybe put on a jacket so I have something dry for when I stop.
if you hear it, but seems my dog found something. So guys, suspenders. Oh. Oh wait. Need these still to keep the pants up. So the first section of this part is very steep. Sorry, it's very steep uphill. Almost like you have to use your hands for support, and if you find a good tree, you can also pull yourself up, but it makes you warm. That's not good. Well, it doesn't matter as long as you move, but as soon as you stop, when you stop, you will feel it. There, guys, pro tip: keep your clothes or whatever you need the most on top of your bag. This bag is an extra. It's a Corinthia compression bag, size large. So and guys, good to go. The flannel wasn't dry, but not too wet, so I hope I can use it later. So let's keep going. See you soon. So it's now 5 minutes past 3 in the afternoon, and it's getting dark. So for when you go out this late, as I did today, a couple of things to think about. One, it's good if you know the area, so you don't get lost, or so you can make a shortcut if you need to. And number two, I have gear, clothes, warm and dry and waterproof, have some food, have some water, have ways to make fire, and all of that is because let's say it gets darker than I think, or later than I think, and somehow I have to stop. Either it's too dark, well, also I have flashlights, I have a head torch, but either way, let's say all of those break, they don't work, my batteries are dead, I have extra spare ones, but let's say nothing works. You need to be able to sustain yourself, at least for a while, let's say the night at least. So, but now it's getting dark and I want to keep the pace up, and still I don't want to fall, I don't want to hurt myself. So it's what do you say, I have to compromise speed versus safety. but I'm confident. It's not gonna get too dark. Maybe I will not stop for coffee, and I will have coffee and food when I'm back at the starting point. That might be a good idea. Depends. There is a shelter just like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes from here. If there is firewood there and I don't have to collect it myself, maybe I will stop. Otherwise, I will just keep going. So, see you in a bit. So, I made another stop. Had to get rid of the tripod / selfie stick. And just took this out. So now I have my hands free and I can also get light when I need to. I guess I will need to pretty soon. All that it takes is a steep climb to block the light, and it's gonna be pretty much dark. So, no selfie stick, just hold the camera like this, more of a personal, up close kind of filming. So, yeah, I'm just gonna keep my eyes on the trail. So, talk soon. Just gonna make a quick stop at a shelter that I used to stop here, and I was also planning to show you like what happens with the light. Don't know if it's that visible, but to me it is anyway. Where the sun goes down versus where it comes up, a lot darker one way, well, in one direction. So I'm just gonna get some coffee and we will talk a bit more. Yeah, I need to be a bit close. Haven't figured out how to record sound via Bluetooth. So if I'm too far away, half the time there is no sound, and the other half it's terrible sound. But so, some coffee pre-made. This was the plan after all. It was a late start, 2 o'clock maybe, and to do a speed hike or a speed march, however you like to put it. Have some coffee out here and then go back to the starting point, because I'm not planning to sleep outside, so I don't want to be stuck outside. But after all, I keep not a complete sleep system, but I have 2 sleeping bags, and since I know there are shelters along the trail, I don't need a tent, not for a 1 to 2 hour hike, but still I want to keep something. That's why I always bring a bag that's about 1 size larger than recommended. Let's say you walk into an outdoor equipment store and say I'm gonna go out for a day, let's say 2 to 6 hours. They will show you maybe a 20 to 35 liter backpack, and it's nothing wrong with it, but I like to keep or bring. So for today, a couple of hours, I carry 52 liters because I can bring more stuff than I need. And if I bring more than I need, I will not be lacking anything. So, cheers. And there's one thing, I started to do this last couple of weeks. I sent in a DNA sample to a company and started to build my family tree. and that's exciting. Probably I will talk about it a lot, but so far, I mean, I have, of course, 2 parents. They have 2 parents each, and so on and so on. And for the most of it, from my dad's side, on his father's side, can go like a couple of 100 years back. And it was interesting to find out that almost all of them lived in the same small area. And, well, how to explain it, because it's not really villages anymore, but it's like the west part of the, if you look at Sweden and Finland up north, it's a sea. Not sure about the English here, but I think the Botnic Gulf of Bothnia, Bothnia, I think, Gulf of. So on the west side, and of course back then before 1809, Sweden and Finland was the same. So Finland was no country back then. It was Sweden. But so my father's side, small area, possibly a couple of like islands or peninsulas, where they lived for a couple of 100 years. And then about 200 years ago, they moved inland from the coast. And my mother's side, even more fascinating, they've lived for more than 500 years up north at the border between Finland and Sweden as they look today. I mean, back then, that wasn't even Sweden. Sweden expanded in the 15th and 16th century. But still, since there were churches and priests, everybody was called in, maybe not every year, but at least a couple of years in between. And they were, it's called like, exactly. So yeah, they come from a small, well, it's not small, it's quite large, but the same area anyway. And most of them lived from, on both sides, of course. They lived from farming. My mother's side were more farming and animal keeping. Some of them kept reindeers. So possibly I am of native Swedish origin. I don't know. That's not really clear. Some of the names, well, makes me suspect that it is like that. They had their own versions of Christian names. So it's possible, but not sure. Not gonna claim. My claim to fame is not gonna be the native one. But then you find out lots of exciting things, especially when people have made work before me, because I'm just doing it by the internet. But people have been like gone out to churches and reading these books, and now they are scanned, so I can still see them, but people found some really interesting things. And of course, most of them, they were born, died. Surprisingly, they lived kind of long lives, sometimes 60, 70, 80 years, maybe even more. And some of them died young, lots of them. I mean, everyone had, I mean, in my family tree, one guy, he had like 24 children. And almost all of them died the first year or after a couple of days. But some grew up and they had lots of children, not 20, but let's say 10, 8, 12. Most of them died young, but if they did not die the first year, it seems like they lived more or less like we do. 60, 70, 80 years. Except for, yeah, found some like causes of death. Wind is picking up, so I'm just gonna go closer. Yeah, but causes of death. Suicide, not too rare. Sentenced to death for, seems today like small, I mean, not in proportion. One guy, a forefather, he was sentenced to death because he used the neighbor's land. And there was a story about that. He bought it, but then the seller had a brother, and he said, well, half of it was mine, so they had to compensate him. But then they used the land anyway. So next year, they only had opportunity to have trials once a year. So he was sentenced to death. But then again, maybe back then to use someone else's land might be very, I mean, that could be like today to steal someone's, I don't know, money and opportunity to make money. So yeah, and some, not too many, but some were soldiers. And that was, of course, because the way to keep an army back then was to conscript people. But if you were a bit richer, let's say a village had to bring one soldier. So in the beginning, the rich guys, they paid a poor guy to go fight. But then that had to stop. I don't remember when, but let's say the 18th, or I would say 17th century maybe, or 18th. Because the guys who went to fight were not the best guys. It was the poorest guys. So that had to change. But in the beginning, you paid someone, gave him a bit of land. He could use it. His family could farm when he went off to fight. And, well, if the guy died, as most of them did, it was also like a way to keep the widow and children alive. And that was, she was expected to marry the new soldier. Yeah, and he was expected to marry her. Sometimes young guys had to marry really old women just to keep them, yeah, on the farm. Guess that can be a bit of a problem. Can be a bit of a problem if the new soldier is already married. I don't know, maybe he kept the old one as a mother-in-law or something. Well, anyway, I found 2 of my forefathers died in war, but probably not in combat, because almost no one did. They all died of disease. But one died in Germany in the 16th century. So that would, I guess, be the 30-year war. And the other one died in Russia in the 18th century. So that would be the end of the Swedish Empire. Yeah, now we get some company. See this guy? Do you see him? Yeah, there he is. Just took off like, well, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. Heard him barking. Maui, gå och lägg dig. Yeah, just heard him barking, so probably he found something, like a wild animal, hopefully. I don't want him to hunt livestock. Well, he's not hunting, he's just running and barking. So, but now, once he's back, I'm gonna finish my coffee and go on. It's getting darker by the minute. So, but I will talk more about my family tree. That's what I do when I'm not outside, not at the gym, but rest of my time I look at this because it's really exciting. And you find some fun stuff. I've not seen the connections yet, but I've seen connections to family trees in Canada, the US, and those are, of course, like I have to go back a couple of generations and then their children emigrated. And also when I look like back in history, I have some foreign influences like from Belgium, France, Germany. Not too much, but I know some people moved from Belgium to Sweden a long time ago, like 500 years ago. And those German ancestors, it's a bit unclear because today is Germany, but some of the areas in northern Germany by the Baltic Sea were Swedish. And also the Baltic states were Swedish for a while. Finland was Swedish, Norway, back and forth with Denmark. Also parts of Sweden as it is today were Danish long time ago. So yeah, it's very interesting. I recommend it to everyone to do it. So guys, now I finish my coffee, pack up and go on. So talk to you again in a while when I'm preparing food, starting a fire, and we can have more of a talk. See you soon. So guys, just to show you how quick everything happens. Now I am on the trail. There are trees. It's thick, so you can see the sky up there. You can see me, and this is what I see. But of course, it's a bit brighter for me, but yeah, what to say, sorry. This was hard. You need a head torch, and you need to, I would say you need it on before it gets dark. Let's go like this. Because when it gets dark, you have to stop, put your backpack down. You can't really see where you put it. Maybe you put it in mud, wet everything, or maybe you slip. So head torch on before it gets dark. Just my opinion. And now I'm gonna start moving, so I need my hands free. Yeah, see ya. Yeah guys, I found this. Well, I knew it was here. It was too dark to hike in the forest. So now we use this forest road. It leads to behind me nowhere. Well, of course it leads to tracks that lead into the woods, and yeah, I don't know. Before they used to do what they do, cut down trees and drag them out, and yeah, you know how it goes. And this way I'm walking, it's gonna attach to another forest road, but that's open to the public. This is not. So this is, well, it's closed off where it attaches to the public gravel road. So now I'm just gonna walk this, and yeah, it's bright enough for me to see. Have my head torch, have a couple of flashlights, 2 to be precise. So I have 3 sources of light except fire. But as you know, 1 is none, 2 is 1, and I have 3, so I have 2. And I have spare batteries, so I guess I'm pretty safe. So yeah, I don't think you can see too much, but a place like this, one of my favorite places. You're in the woods, and all of a sudden, you see it's an opening, quite large. I don't know, maybe 100 yards across. Maybe, yeah, maybe 100 by 100 meters or yards. I can't really tell. Might be more, might be 150 or 200. But this is either an old field, but I don't think so. This is probably an old lake that's all grown together. Now it's too dark to find out. I don't want to step out there and realize it's only a cover of vegetation and water underneath, but probably it's just very soft and wet. But now I'm still on the road, the forest road, the first one. Oh, sorry. And try to keep Maui with me, but he was excited. He was running all around, but we had a small stream on our left side, and well, I think he could have jumped over it, but he didn't. But then when the stream turned, well, he left. So guess I will see him soon. But now he is off to do his own stuff. Yeah, and meanwhile well, he came back. Maui, come! Ja, jättebra! Here he is. Can you see him? Well, he's there. Well, come in. So, just because I'm on a road and it's dark and I want to get to where I'm going, and I have the new boots. As I told you lots of times, I'm very excited. And one of the reasons is I got a hold of them and made a preview. Maui, come! I made a preview. I'm like the second guy on YouTube to do anything with those boots. So yeah, to be honest, I'm excited. Let's see where that video takes me. I think it's my most popular so far. Possibly the preview of the mids are more popular in total, but compared to the time they've been uploaded, I think this one is the best. So yeah, but anyway, I had an opportunity to run. I'm still pushing it, but not running. But they feel really good support of your ankles, good grip. Haven't slipped much, only when it's lots of mud, but that's not because of the boots, it's because of the mud. But so anyway, did some running, was a while ago, and running with a backpack and regular clothes, well, it's a bit different, but it's fun. Have to keep your spirit and your stamina and fitness up. So, well, I'm gonna try to keep track of my dog and get back to you soon. Yeah, final stop for today. And as you can see, I was a bit lucky. It started to not really rain, really, but drizzle. So when we came back, I found a fire pit that had some left in it. So I just, well, split some wood and added oxygen and more wood. Now we have a good fire. And you can't see it, but I have some wet firewood next to it. Hopefully it will dry and then I can burn it later. So now we are here and just gonna make some food and yeah, have some dinner. So I will see you soon. As you can see, I made the fire. That's more for fun, and it's really relaxing. You see here I have my Trangia Mini to boil water. And flashlight for some light. You can see, I have my coffee, I have my fuel, and here I have some food. Just gonna pour water into it, eat it, relax. That's about it. That's all you need. So now the water boiled, and poured it into my cups. If you've seen my videos before, you know what I eat. I eat some sort of pasta. Today's pesto, and well, it's risotto. Not my favorite, but had it at home, so somebody's got to eat it. And I guess it's me. And well, Maui, he's resting behind me. I never got my flannel shirt back, by the way. One I took off earlier. He wasn't too keen to be on the floor. It's just wooden floor in the shelter, so I gave him the shirt, and now he's sleeping. So I'm just gonna wait 5 minutes for my food to be cooked and ready. Then I'm gonna eat and finish my coffee. Now it's really warm in here. I'm actually thinking about spending the night. It's no wind, of course. It's drizzle outside, but I have a fire. I have a stove in the shelter. Maybe that's warming it up. I have sleeping bags, even have a pillow. I'm not sure yet. Will let you know after I finish my dinner. So guys, dinner is ready. So dinner is ready. So here I am, outside, eating dinner, looking at the fire. Now you can't see the fire, but you can see the glow in my face. To summarize, had a great afternoon. Woke up a bit late. My fiance, she has a friend over today, so she told me, don't you want to go anywhere? Like outside, bring the dog, bring a backpack, make a movie. And I was like, nah, I don't know. I'm tired. Lots of stuff happening at work lately. Maybe I just want to rest, sleep all day. But then again, a friend came over, well, after I left. So in the end, I just went up, had some coffee, protein shake, packed the bag and left. And I do not regret it at all. Had a good hike. Had the opportunity to go fast, which is fun. and came back here. Not too many people. One of the shelters, well, it's occupied. I think, anyway. And have a good fire. Was some left when I got here. Previous one guys didn't put it out completely, but it's no worries. It's very wet and it was drizzling. Now here I am. Fire going. Still have coffee, still have food. Gonna share some with Maui. I know he's supposed to eat his own food, but I didn't bring any, so if I want to stay for a while, I need to feed him. Then he has to eat my food. So it was a good day. I'm glad I went out. Now it's all dark. Rain hasn't picked up yet. It will tonight. But I'm not wet. I have more clothes. Extra jacket if I want to stay. Just gonna sit here, enjoy my food for a bit. Look at the fire. One of my friends, he was in the army, Swedish army. So he told me to make a fire at night, they call it a field television. This plastic bag came along. Yeah. People don't keep track of their stuff. I bring plastic bags as well for garbage and for stuff in my bag, but you want to bring it, take it with you when you go. Sorry about the footage, but I need to be close because there is not much light here. As you saw, my fire is burning out. You saw some lights in the background. Well, I am almost done. I have some coffee left and yeah, a little more to say. Well, like I told you about the DNA sample, the DNA test, I sent it in. I will have an answer in a couple of weeks, probably beginning of next year. But I'm pretty sure it will say I am 100% Scandinavian. If that's an area they can locate, but I think so. Possibly a couple of percent European. And well, but it's good to find out where you come from, or at least it's interesting. So now I know what I I used to say that when people ask me like, where are you from? Some guys think this one, the beard, and if it's dark, it makes me look, well, like I'm from somewhere else. I've heard different. People had different suggestions, like former Yugoslavia or even the Middle East. But I have blue eyes, so I guess Middle East is not really a good guess. But either way, I once told a guy my family has lived here for 1,000 years. And I can't say that for sure, but it looks like at least 500. And there is no way to go further back, because before 1470s there are no records. Like, and the records from that time is because the state was forming and they needed to know who owned what land. So those are the records. And a bit like who married who, they had any children and so on. But most of all, it was if you owned land, you can find people. And of course, by the 16th and 17th century, it was more and more important to know about the people living in Sweden for the Swedish state, because they needed soldiers. And if you don't know who lives here, you can't really draft anyone. So that was one of the reasons that we have the oldest and still running record of people. So we have still today, everyone has an ID number. It's 10 digits. It's your birth number, year, month, day, and then 4 digits more. When I was young, the first 2 of the last 4, they told from where in Sweden you were. And the third one is odd means male and even number means female, and the last one is just to even it out if too many people are born the same day in the same region. Yeah, anyway, I found another interesting guy in my family tree. It was the 17th century, after the 30-year war. Look it up if you haven't. It was a war between Catholics and Protestants. I think it's more fair to say it was about religion than land, but anyway, of course, states fought for kings and princes and stuff like that. Well, so this guy, he was named, I can't pronounce it because I don't even know the spelling, the different versions of it, but it was something like Lodvik. Could be Lodvik with a JK in the end, or just IK. Could also be Ludwig, like King Louis in France, but the Swedish version of Louis is Ludwig. Anyway, he was drafted after the 30-year war, or by the end of it, because yeah, basically all the young guys were dead. But he was 40, so he had no plans to go. He was like, yeah, as it says, he was sure he was gonna die of disease, not even fighting. So I'm not sure if he ran or if he just worked within the system and the rules, but he went out in the middle of nowhere and he started a farm. So for the Americans, a homestead, I don't know, maybe that was a thing in Sweden as well, because all of the north were basically uninhabited, so they wanted people to move there and farm. Anyway, he did, and turned into a village, and it still exists today, called Lovikka. Lovika. IKKA, Lovikka. And well, it's a small village, like 50 people live there. So, but anyway, a guy didn't want to go and die in a war. He started a farm, turned to a village, and people live there still today, almost 350 years later. Yeah, other than that, as I said before, most were farmers. Some are like registered as farmers / soldiers, but that was, yeah, like I told you before, every village had to put up one soldier, and they had to support his family by giving him land. So he worked the land when there was peace, and when there was war, he went away, but his family could work the land and survive. So it was I guess, a cheap system. The state had no cost except for giving soldiers weapons and equipment. But salary wasn't really needed, I guess. Yeah, they could take whatever they could after a fight. You know, that was part of warfare back then. Even, I mean, yeah, I guess you all know, you read history as much as I do, but it was even considered well done if you, let's say you besieged the city, told them you have to give it up, and they were like, no. And if the city did not surrender, when the attackers entered the city, it was just considered normal behavior to kill everyone and take everything. Okay, guys, I made up my mind. I will not stay the night. I know breakfast, so I have nothing to eat tomorrow. That's gonna be a bummer. So I'm just gonna put out the fire, collect my stuff, and yeah, probably see you in the car. I like to film some footage when I'm driving. So we'll just get ready and see you in the car. So we are back home, and everything went well. I was excited. It was the first time to use the new boots. They are, so far, they are awesome. Really good, comfortable. I haven't really broken them in yet, but they feel good anyway. Felt good walking, felt good running, kept me warm, kept me dry, was good grip. And other than that, I just want to thank you all for watching. If you made it to the end, I hope you liked the video. You can of course dislike and leave a comment if you like to. And either way, I hope you subscribe. That helps a lot. Thank you, and I will see you soon. This is Jones Fitness and Outdoor. Have a nice night.